Yo, what's going on, people? Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, I've been playing this game since it came out. It's been 2 days and I've gotten, let's say, around 24 hours of gameplay so far on the actual game. And I want to start off, and unfortunately, yes, I am going to start off with a negative because this game should have been much more than what it has been released to be. There's so many problems with it. I mean, there's goods to this game, but the majority of the stuff that are quite bad really just piss me off. So what I'm going to do is just go through some of the issues that I have with this game and maybe give some form of explanation or something, and maybe try and find a way to improve it or give suggestions so that Ubisoft could hopefully and eventually fix these problems, because if they don't, then this game is going to go down the same route that the Division went and the same route that For Honor went, which is basically just losing a load of their player base ridiculously quickly because the game just was released and they weren't expected, or they weren't up to the standard that they were hyped and expected to be. So where am I gonna start? Where do I start? I mean, the main problem, or I've got quite a few, but let's just start off with something. I mean, climbing walls, it really pisses me the fuck off, and it really does piss me off so much that I'm able to climb some walls and some like boulders and rocks and some cars, but then all of a sudden the same height or the same type of rock or the same type of wall right next to it, I am unable to climb. There is no option to press A. I'm on the Xbox One. There's no option to press A to climb that goddamn wall. Why the fuck is that? Why was that not implemented? Why has this game been released again, just like the Division has or was released, unfinished? That is one thing that needs to get fixed, that I would say. Another thing, and this is more of a suggestion and that should be hopefully implemented into the game. Whilst you're playing online and you're into matchmaking and you've been matchmade into a party of 2, 3 or 4, it doesn't matter which one. When you're going and you're tagging supplies, it is ridiculously fucking annoying. It is so annoying that I have to sit there and watch my character, the one that I'm controlling, go through and tag the supply, and then I have to wait for the other 3 that I am with to go and do it, or I have to watch the other 3 do it and for myself to do it. If we're in a group or in a party of 3, 4 people, however many it is, why not just let us tag, or let one person tag the supply and have us in a radius? And if we're inside that radius or inside that range, let's say 50 meters or whatever it might be, why can we not all have it? Just add it onto it. And talking about tagging supplies, why the fuck does the camera always move to one side after doing it? That needs to be fixed. I mean, it just needs to be fixed. There's no excuse to it. It shouldn't have been released that way. It just needs to be fixed. Moving on, another issue. I played the closed beta, I played the open beta, and I've played the game, and to be honest, the driving, the flying in terms of plane control, the helicopter control, and the motorbike controls, now they're just not up to scratch. They're just not there. They feel very arcade like, very comic like, and very shit. That's it. That's what I have to say about it. They could have been improved. And whilst I'm flying or in a helicopter and I want to jump out of the helicopter, the parachute and the way the parachute deploys, or when you jump from the whichever height you want, there is no sense of speed. There is no sense of speed when you're jumping out of a plane to parachute. There's no sense of speed when you're driving a boat, a car or a motorbike. There is just no sense of speed in the game. It all feels very basic and it all feels just like you're going the same speed throughout. Now, Ubisoft have released a game called Steep. I'm sure everyone knows about this game. And Steep is basically a game, you're in the Alps, so you've got snowboarding and then you've got parachutes in there as well. You've got free diving, base jumping and all of that. Why could they not have implemented some of the controls or animations or something from that into this game? That would have been so much better, because Steep have a much better system in place and it feels much better when you're jumping and you're trying to pull a parachute onto there. Another thing, and it's another tip or suggestion that needs to be fixed, squad edits. Why am I allowed to edit my character the way I play it, but then I have 3 random fucking fuck faces, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, they're just fucking standing next to you and they look out of fucking place? It's like I'm dressed to go into a cartel city and kill someone, and these 3 fuckers next to me are just sitting there like clowns doing star jumps. And going back to the edit, of where we're jumping out of a plane. If I jump out of a plane and I parachute and I turn around and look back, you have these 3 teammates who are just humping each other in mid-air as they're paragliding down. What the hell is that? That's one thing that gets to me as well. There's one of many things. In 2 days, there has been so many things that have accumulated, and I'm sure I'm not the only person to feel this way. I mean, I've read Reddit posts and I've seen other people complaining, and there's just a list of stuff that needs to be addressed, fixed, and implemented into this game. Moving on quickly, there is one other thing, or there's 2 other things, or maybe 3. There's more. But I'm just going to go through quickly 3 of them, and then I'm going to finish this video and cut it there. The bullet drops on the sniper rifles. Someone made an in-depth video in terms of a bullet drop, and he's tested it on all the different snipers and different attachments, and it just sucks. If I put a longer barrel on a sniper, I want it to be able to fire longer. It needs to have a higher bullet velocity, and it needs to travel further. That is it. No questions asked. Implement that. That's it. Another thing, whilst I'm in a team fight, or whilst I'm into fighting something, if I go into a base and I decide to get into a gunfight, a full-on gunfight, if I shoot someone and they drop dead, if I walk away, and it's usually like 10-15 meters, if I walk away from that body and I turn back to look, it's gone, it's disappeared, it's vanished into thin air. Why is it that that is that way? Why is it only like 5-10 meters or 15 meters? Why can that body not stay there until I leave the actual area or the actual base or something? There is no sense of stealthiness to this. If I was to go into a base at night and I'm trying to do it in a stealth way, and I decide to silence someone and he's there on the floor, when another enemy patrol unit comes past, that body is long gone, and it just takes away from the experience of this game that it should have been more than just that. Lastly, before I just stop rambling on in terms of negatives about this game, there needs to be a wait mode. What I mean by wait mode is there needs to be a day and night cycle where you could choose the time of day or night that you want to spawn on. If I want to go and do a mission, sometimes I want to go and do it in the daytime. There are other times where I want to go and do it in the nighttime. I should have that option to be able to do that. I'm sure I'm not the only one that wants this. And again, going back to Steep, the game, they have that option implemented in there. And Final Fantasy is another game I was playing. Even that has it in there. Sometimes it has the option for you to wait until nighttime, for instance, for the monsters to spawn so that you can go and do it that way. That should have been implemented onto it. There are so many more things and so many more mistakes and so many random little things that have been left out in this game. With the time that this game has been in development, I think it should not have been released. It should have been held in for another year at least and developed a little bit more. Games nowadays, especially Ubisoft, when they're releasing them, they've just been releasing them unfinished, and it is quite disappointing, because I like Ubisoft games, I like their games, I like the stuff that they come up with, but it's always a letdown on release dates. And it happened to me especially with The Division. I was so happy and quite hyped for that game that when it got released I started playing it, and then I would say about 3 months into that game I haven't touched it since. It is disappointing, but unfortunately that's just the way it is. Again, sorry that it's been a ramble. Hopefully I'll get something uploaded differently a little bit sooner. And yeah, until next time, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm sure I'm not the only one, and I'm sure there's more suggestions or faults that everyone wants to kind of comment on. So just leave a comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new, and hopefully see you on the next one. Happy days, take care.